some of my experiences on various safety matters related to whether it is a chemical industry or a general industry or major hazardous industry, because we are the regulatory authorities for safety, health and welfare of industrial workers, those who are working in the ambit of industry. So in the state of Karnataka. Okay. Today is the 4th. So can we put that Bhopal first? Today is the 4th December. All over the nation, all over India, we are celebrating the Chemical Disaster Prevention Day. What is that? Any idea about it? Why today it is being commemorated, the Chemical Disaster Prevention Day? Bhopal gas tragedy. So we all know India has witnessed one of the worst chemical disaster in the year 1984, December 3rd, midnight. So we all know what were the effects of that aftermath of the said disaster. Many people, thousands of people lost their lives, not one or two. This was one of the biggest disaster in the history of chemical industries. No any other industry or no any other nation has experienced such kind of worst disaster. Okay, I just wanted to show some of the glimpses, highlights of Bhopal disaster today. Okay. And this doesn't show an overview how that incident took place, what are the effects, how many people got affected, what are the lapses. Why I am trying to present this is, see, yours is one of the chemical industry. You are also storing, using, handling, transporting many hazardous chemicals. Okay, so some of the systems, even a small error in the chemical industry, particularly small error, a leakage or a kind of transport accident, so it will lead to some kind of disasters, not accidents. Disaster is a big word. So if it is not manageable within the premises, then it goes out of the premises. Off-site emergency, on-site emergency. On-site emergency means the emergency that can be mitigated, handled within the industry. That is called on-site emergency plan. Who should do what? In the event of emergency, what are the role of the employees? What are the roles of the management? What are the roles of the regulatory authorities? Or the nearest police station? Or the transport? So everything will be predetermined. It is a predetermined format where who should do what in the event of any emergency. Similarly, off-site emergency is one where when the emergency crosses your boundary, your walls, your premises, then some of the things is not able to control and it is not in your hand. Then the public administration or the district administration or the taluk administration or the various government agencies will come into picture. Therefore, the emergency crosses from you to the neighboring industries or the neighboring departments or the public authorities. So then, who should do what are the roles of the district administration? What is the role of the taluk administration? What is the role of the fire department? What is the role of the RTO? So all these things are compiled in a book called Off-Site Emergency Plan. So these two should be known to each and everyone who is working in the chemical industry. Okay. So coming to Bhopal, this is the Union Carbide factory. In where it is? Bhopal. Just see on one by one pictures. How people are affected. So thousands of people, real, thousands of people, thousands of children. Even today, there is no proper count. Exact number of people, how many died in Bhopal tragedy is not known. Some people say it is 2,800 as per some report. Some people say it is 20,800. Some people say it is 50,000. And some people say 1 lakh people died. Okay? There is no proper system of counting that. Because, see, the entire area was collapsed. So, I was attending this seminar in some of the workshops. One gentleman told, one chemical expert told, if people are aware about the first aid in the event of that particular gas, what is that gas? MIC, leakage, 90% of the fatalities could have been avoided. Even experts, so-called experts, chemical experts, technocrats were not knowing about the proper characteristics of MIC. Some people used to say it is only the irritant gas. Some people used to say it is highly poisonous gas. And there was not much clear about the technology and other things. And in the event of any inhalation, who should do what? Or the affected person, what is supposed to do? What is the first aid? What is the antidote? Antidote means, what is the antidote? To mitigate, to bring down your concentration level, to immediately cure. Okay, you are supposed to have some antidotes. If you are having a particular gas or a toxic agent, you must have an antidote also. If the snake is there in the premises, you are supposed to have the antidote. Like that, if the people are knowing about the first aid or the antidote, then 90% of the people would have been survived. Because of that, people were not knowing, even employees were not knowing, management personnel were not knowing what they are supposed to do in the event of inhalation of that particular MIC. MIC means methyl isocyanate. Therefore, so what is the lapse there? What is the lapse? Lack of awareness, lack of sensitization, lack of public awareness. Not only your industry, when you have stored, handled, manufactured so many chemicals, it is the obligation on the part of the employer to educate the immediate vicinity also. Not only your industry, immediate vicinity, that is your neighboring industries, neighboring village. Okay, you are supposed to create a hazard mapping, critical analysis, risk assessment. So, hazard mapping we should do. So, I have some kind of LPG. In the event of any explosion, which direction it moves? Suppose the wind is blowing in particular direction. So, what is the effect of the nearest village? Whether your flame or the blevy we say in the case of LPG, whether it travels to that village, how many people are residing there, what are the cattle and other animals, pet animals. So these statistics should be available in the factory. Okay. Now coming to this, see, these are some of the earlier disasters. Mexico, about 650 people, just imagine 650 people killed in a blevy, LPG blevy. Blevy is nothing but boiled explosion. Okay. So the blevy is even today the technology is not proper in the entire universe. What kind of characteristics that blevy is having? Blevy is nothing but a fireball. So based on the vapor pressures and temperatures, when the pressure and temperature increases, we know there is explosion. Okay, in which direction it goes, in what kind of effect will be there, we say it is 0% lethality, 5% lethality, 100%. Like that, when some circles we draw based on some imaginations and other things. But still, proper characteristics of Levy is not known. So, what is the effect? What velocity it moves? What velocity it moves is also not able to study by the present technology. Such kind of scenario we are going to face. Next, Bhopal. Bhopal disaster releases MIC killing tens of thousands and causing injuries and lakhs of people of persons. So even today, some of the villages and other things, there is some kind of problem for these infants. Infants are facing some problem. Mercury is highly poisonous. Mercury is highly poisonous. Still, the droplets, that kind of storage, still exists. So government is not taking risk to remove that. If we remove, there will be some more problems. If we do not remove, still there exist the problems. A situation arising with little or no warning and causing or threatening death, injury, serious destruction, release of people, flora and fauna. So, the 3rd of December 1984, around midnight, 1:45 a.m., 1:45 a.m., nearly 40 tons of MIC, 40 tons of MIC released to the city of Bhopal. Just imagine, 40 tons means it is huge quantity. And there was heavy wind blow. So the characteristics of MIC is that it is heavier than air. Always try to settle at the bottom. But unfortunately, this was not known to the many people. There was a railway station and colony, railway colony. It is little below the ground level. So majority of the gas passed there. And those who were staying at height, those who are staying first floor, second floor, and trees over, they have survived. The railway station, bus station, and that colony particularly severely affected, and 50% of Bhopal city. Just imagine 30,000, 20,000 people means just imagine. Nearly 50% of the city was occupied. If people would have been known that in the event of any leakage, we have to run away from this place to the elevated place. Number one. Secondly, if people were known about the first aid was such that the MIC will attack your lungs, cold burns, and fast in that blood circulation. Your blood becomes toxic. Okay? What is that? Asphyxia. Asphyxiation. So, like that, your blood becomes. So, the simplest way of avoiding was that you have to put your kerchief in the water and keep your nose and mouth or something like that. That would have been saved 90% of the fatalities. Just imagine, people were not known about it. Number second, the wind direction. It is heavier than air, and people should be vacated from the low-lying areas. That was also not known. Why I am stressing this point is, we must know the characteristics of the chemicals that we are using, and we must also know their characteristics. It should be taught to each and every individual, whether he is a contract worker, whether he is a regular worker, whether any person, including the visitors. So that should be your first point. Next. See, types of disasters coming to this, there are two kinds. One is natural disaster, second one is man-made disaster. So the Bhopal disaster is man-made disaster. So man-made disaster, can it be avoided? Is it possible to avoid the man-made? Is it possible to avoid the natural disaster? Almost no. But efforts are there to in the event of flood and other things. So flood is nothing but a natural disaster where you can take some kinds of measure to shift or some kind of rehabilitation programs. Similarly, tsunami. Tsunami is a natural disaster.
Man-created natural disaster.
See, after that tsunami incident in India, Indian government spent about 1,400 crores near Bay of Bengal, and they have constructed a tsunami detection center. At least we get some kind of sense, some kind of clue, some kind of this thing, warning message, so that alerting and evacuation we can do that. Similarly, the cyclones. Earlier, if the cyclone comes, it was true and almost certain that there will be affecting and huge number of deaths. But today it is not so. At least 48 hours before that, you will be giving a warning, and all rehabilitation measures you can take and shift the people. Of course, property damage will be there, but people damage will be drastically coming down. Fishermen will be given warning, and immediate shelters, rescue shelters will be formed. Okay, people will be elevated and sent to those centers with all protection. So such kind of measures we have to do because okay, this is a natural disaster. It is not in our hand. If we are keeping quiet, what happens?
People will die.
Exactly, people will die. Okay, next. Early in the morning of December 3rd, safety relief valve. We know safety relief valve, safety valve. Why it is provided in the system? What is the need of the safety valve to be that is provided in the systems, in the pressure vessels, particularly pressure vessels. So release the excess pressure. In the event of any excess pressure, that goes through safety valve. Suppose if it is jammed due to some problem, inoperative, due to some problem, what happens? Explosion starts. Recently, one air compressor exploded. Safety pin, that is safety valve, got jammed and unable to sustain the pressure. Exploded one air compressor, killing one person. That too factory like a chain. Just imagine. Chain on air compressor, that air receiver tank exploded. Like that, in my 25 years of service, I have seen more than at least 150 to 200 fatal accidents from various reasons. Whether it is electrical safety, gas leakage. Recently, there was chemical spill in the Aravali. Small plant, 15 workers. Out of these, 3 people died. Out of 15, 3 people died. And one more lab that this thing. I don't want to quote the name. There are also 3 people due to suffocation of some gas. Okay, lack of gas. So this kind of the maintenance head was died. Deputy manager maintenance. Is it not his duty to wear the safety gadgets when he is going into some kind of tank where oxygen depletion is there? See, carelessness. That should not be there. So chemical plants, you should not compromise anything. You should not compromise safety because you cannot value the life of a person. You cannot value for it. Okay, ours is also life. Their contract workers' life is also equally important. Okay? And MIC lifted safety valve provided to tank containing deadly poisonous gas MIC lifted up due to exothermic reaction releasing huge quantity of MIC into the environment. Exothermic reaction. When the characteristics of MIC, when it is coming in contact with the water, what happens? Immediately reacts. And
Releases carbon dioxide.
And huge gas will be released. One is water, the MIC is also in the liquid form. When it is coming in contact, there will be a huge vapor cloud. Okay, that is what happened. Okay, and 20 tons of MIC in the form of vapor and liquid releases towards southern side of the factory on the housing colonies, including the sandy down adjacent site. So close to 2,000 innocent persons died. So of course, following this, see, after the incident, whatever the post-mortem you do, that is only for your satisfaction, not for any results. Okay, the leaves you can't bring. Is it not? Can you bring back? No. Once if they die. So, however, we need all these things because recurrence should not happen. What is my recurrence? It should not repeat in future. So what kind of cares we supposed to take? We should take. What kinds of systems we supposed to build? We should build. And what kind of lapses or the violations or the causes, okay, should be rectified in the positive manner. Okay. The fact and the data which we are discussing today are the experts extracts from the said investigation reports. So this is about the history of the UN. That is one of the MNC, multinational company owned by America. Okay, and proper systems were not there. Initially, the plant was formulated, carbonate pesticides, and later they have changed into many other chemicals. This see the other thing here. General manager was nominated as the occupier. General manager, he was just in charge of the plant. Can he take ultimate decision? No. So after this incident, the Factories Act was drastically amended. General manager cannot be occupier, cannot be the ultimate person. So one of the directors should be ultimate person. So like that, the act was also changed. Act and a lot of modifications we brought in the Factories Act 1948 and Environmental Protection Act. Environmental Protection Act 1986. This has happened in 1984. 1986, one new act has come called Environmental Protection Act. In that, they have given a definition about the hazardous process. Earlier to that, the act was telling it is a manufacturing process. So under the manufacturing process, what is hazardous process? So in the event of any hazardous process coming in the picture in the factory, whether it is manufacturing, handling, or storing, or transporting, then the management what they are supposed to take the extra activities, the additional reinforcements. We are